What's up everybody, Beastlygamer here. Welcome to the channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about Sonic the Hedgehog. Who remembers when Sonic the Hedgehog was a viable competitor against Mario in the Nintendo machine? I remember when Mario ruled the world as far as mascots go, as far as recognition went. Everyone knew who Mario was. When it came to video games and Mario, everybody saw eye to eye that Mario was the god. He was the one to be and the one to beat. And so during that early time in video gaming, lots of companies tried to come out with different mascots to compete against Mario. And for the most part, many of them failed immediately. But there was one that came out that did shine, and it was a beacon of hope, a beacon of light for other video game companies that it could be done, that you could dethrone Mario. And this character was Sonic the Hedgehog. We're talking many, many years ago when Sonic first came out. I remember the feeling I had when I went over to my uncle's house, my Uncle Aaron. He had a Sega Genesis, and at the time I didn't. I had a Super Nintendo. And he said, hey, I want to show you guys this new game that just came out, Sonic the Hedgehog. And the name alone, I was like, whatever. He put it inside his Sega Genesis, and I remember it was one of those great moments in gaming history for me. It was when the paradigm shift for me. I understood that video games could be different at that time. I never saw a game that fast, ever. A 2D adventure game that moved that quickly kind of blew my mind. This little blue ball, he would turn into a ball and just run through enemies. I was like, holy shit, what is this? I have to have this game. On top of it, the game seemed to control well. It had awesome music, and I was like, God, this little thing right here might be better than Mario. And that was like the first time I ever thought anything like that. Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 came out to huge critical acclaim. People loved Sonic, and especially Sonic 2, which in my opinion is the best Sonic game of all time. And we're not talking Sonic CD, we're talking just Sega Genesis. And to me, Sonic 2 was like, wow. At that moment, I was like, this guy could be better than Mario at some point if they continue on this path and continue to innovate this series and make Sonic even better. Because let's keep in mind, Mario's an older, pudgy little plumber who didn't really have a lot of hip, things that he would say and be cool about it. Sonic would turn and look at the screen and kind of give you an eyebrow like, what's up, I know you're there. He was real fast, and he just seemed to be like the new hip kid on the block. And so being young back in those days, a lot of people gravitated towards Sonic. Unfortunately, as time went on and Sonic games continued to be made, the quality diminished over years and years and years. We saw it decline gradually to the point now where when you think of Sonic the Hedgehog, it is a joke. It's not even a viable competitor really to anyone. Sonic has become a diminished shadow of who he used to be. Nobody would ever think that Sonic could compete against Mario right now. Nobody would. And it's a sad thing because I feel like Sega kind of dropped the ball. Sonic was their #1 franchise at that time. Everybody was behind Sonic. The games were fun. And as long as they innovated making those games, Sonic could have been a huge hit. But like I said, as of late, the games have become terrible, and it's sad to see what has happened. It seems like it's a possibility that Sega may bring the focus back around to Sonic as far as making quality Sonic games that really harken back to the way that Sonic used to be. I'll drop a link in the description for you guys. Following the poor reception of recent titles like the Wii-U's Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, Sega promises fans of the Speedy Blue Hedgehog that they can look forward to greater focus on quality. Chris Olsen, Sega of America's Chief Operating Officer, spoke to Polygon about the reception of some of the company mascot's recent titles. Olsen said, Sega, quote, wants to bring Sonic to where gamers are, end quote. Those gamers are skewing younger, he added, pointing to the popular Cartoon Network series upon which the game was based. He recognized that, quote, there is still a very large size audience with old school Sonic fans who grew up with the Sega Genesis as well, and in Sega's efforts to satisfy the newer fans, recent titles didn't hit the mark with veterans. Quote, we have an obligation to the fans of Sonic and to the consumer. So while the company will continue to evaluate different ways to bring cool experiences based on Sonic, it will do so with an increased emphasis on combining cool with quality. Sega CEO Haruki Satomi echoed that decision in an interview with Fatsumi in July. Quote, Sega in the 1990s was known for its brand, but after that we've lost trust, and we were left with nothing but reputation. For this reason we like to win back the consumer's trust and become a brand once again, end quote. Olsen, who specifically oversees the Western market's mobile game sector, compared the smartphone market to that of the console games when explaining how Sega plans to regain that trust. Quote, "The video game business is always a conflict of weighing bringing a title to the market and making the yearly plans versus maybe waiting and bringing something else," he told us. Quote, "You can see that on the mobile side of things, in the earlier day of mobile development, there was a tendency to bring things out immediately. Those days are gone. Consumer expectations have been raised," end quote. What this means for the Sonic franchise is slowing down the Speedster's release schedule. Quote, "Video game development is a pretty chaotic thing. And it's important not to rush things, because we want to be sure we're bringing out the most polished thing," end quote. But Sega won't necessarily cater to longtime Sonic fans in its attempts to increase quality. Quote, "When we look at bringing Sonic to modern day gamers, we obviously want to appeal to as many people as possible, but still focus on what it means to be Sonic and a Sonic game," he explained. "Maybe that might lose some fans along the way, but we're picking up new fans that will hopefully grow with us as Sonic grows." So, it sounds like Sega plans on slowing down, dropping these just random Sonic games, Sonic Colors, Sonic Boom, which is horrible. Rather than just cashing in on a name, they are starting to understand that Sonic used to be something really awesome. And now with this Cartoon Network show, the Sonic show that's out, it's actually really popular, they want to pull back, slow down, and release a game that actually has really good quality. I'm happy to hear that. I don't know if it'll necessarily appeal to me because it's been 20 years since I've really gotten into a Sonic game. But I would still be happy to know that Sonic is actually a quality game once again. I mean, for people my age, Sonic the Hedgehog was a great franchise that back then we would have thought he would have lasted forever because of the quality of the games that Sega was making. As of late, Sonic has really fallen off, and this last game was like the epitomization of falling to the bottom of the pit. You know, Sonic Boom was just a horrible, horrible game. If Sega were to slow down production of the Sonic game or the next few Sonic games and actually release something that is quality, that people want to play, that looks good, that feels good, that sounds good, then Sonic could potentially come back to being a great franchise. Now, I've grown past Sonic. A lot of you guys have grown past that age, that era in our lives where Sonic actually matters. I've kind of outgrown Mario too, but it still feels good to know that Mario is still on top. Still feels good to know that after all these years, the quality of Mario games has not diminished. I would love to see Sonic come back, even for the younger generation, for my kids, for your kids, for the kids out there who watch this show, to see Sonic actually be something good again. Hope you guys enjoyed this story. If you did, give a thumbs up and show support of the channel. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe now. I'm the Beastly Gamer, and I'll see you guys next time.